Right. There we go.
Got it.
Welcome to Mailbag, the podcast equivalent of an unpopular loan signing. I am joined this week by, God, it's been a long year, Ed McCosh, Mike Blakey, and Sam White. Just before we started recording then, we were just reminiscing on really bad results against Norwich. Because that's the game coming up the weekend, obviously. And Mike, talk us through your experience at the 5-1.
Yeah, well, Sam's just talking me into like it was a dream now, but it 100% wasn't, because there were other people there. We got, I can't even remember what year it was. I think Mike Walker was the manager.
94.
I think Walker had come from Norwich. Was it?
It was 93 because he was still at Norwich.
Oh, was this the game where we went, he's the fella?
Yeah,
right.
it was basically the 90s equivalent of the Martinez FA Cup quarter final.
Right, fair enough.
That was my first season then. Like, can you imagine? The first season.
Anyway, we were late. My dad, my uncle, my brother, and me. I don't know why we were late, but all the turnstiles were shut, and we were like knocking on doors, knocking on turnstiles that were shut. And this fella came and went, well, we can't come in this gate. There's a gate round here, which we were presumed was an old like overflow, like back from when you could pay to get in on the gate. Went to another door down these steps, and we were basically under the pitch. And he took us, I think it was from the main stand side, like up, down, round this labyrinthy type thing, and then all of a sudden we were on the Bullens concourse. And I will always remember that day more for effing a Cuckoo's 4 goals, but otherwise I was under the pitch.
Yeah, I thought when you said this labyrinthy type thing, and then I thought you were going to say, and then David Bowie appeared in a map with a goblin.
Yeah.
It wasn't a dream though.
That morning, my sister had gone missing that morning.
I'm just imagining now this huge labyrinth under Goodison, sort of littered with the bones of youth players we thought were going to make it, like John Paul Kissock's down there walking around.
Franny Jeffers.
In the middle is the Arteta money guy, sort of guarded by Minotaur or something.
It could be
we
Ed.
found it. This is where it is.
It could be Ed, or it could be like, if you're in there long enough, you're on the board. So if you're walking around, it's like IKEA. They're all the people who work there are lost. They just got given a t-shirt.
They've lost all comprehension of like time and light.
Yeah.
So
it's the Everton board.
Pretty much. That game in question actually took place on September 25th, 1993.
So was he on? When did Walker come?
No, well, he came in that season.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Howard Kendall walked after we beat Southampton 1-0 home. I remember it well. It was in the country. The attendance that day was 13,667 for a
plus 4 because we didn't give our tickets in because we went.
Back in those days, they did talk the attendances up, didn't they? So there was probably less than that in. Then Jimmy Gabriel came in as caretaker.
Oh God, yeah.
This game run where I don't think we lost. We had 7 games, we lost 6 and we won. And then Mike Walker came in, drew with Bolton away in the when Paul Holmes hit his own crossbar. I was at that one when Bolton had the big Norman superstar on the end of the ground, and then we beat Swindon 6-2 in his first home game.
I remember that
game against the worst team in the league, which we almost threw.
Yeah,
2-0 up, and he pulled it back to 2-2.
I was still walking up to get me tickets at that point. Like, and I didn't buy them in advance necessarily. Like, you could still just wander up and with your junior Evertonian card. And...
yeah, that was the one I had. Yeah,
great days.
Listen to the scoring on this. So this Norwich 5-1, the Toffees go 1-0 up. Paul Rideout from an Andy Hinchcliffe cross. Then Efenakoku scores on 44, 57, 63 and 69.
Nice.
And Chris Sutton scores on 77 to make it 5.
They were half decent, though, to be fair, weren't they? We were terrible, and they were half decent.
I think they finished third that year, did they? Or was it the season before? I think they finished third the season before, and that was the season they were in Europe and had that result against Bayern Munich.
It's funny, isn't it? Because you listen to a result like that and a performance like that, and you think, oh, yeah, those were the days. But then you remember we did it a few weeks ago against Watford. Everton is cyclical.
Yeah. Will our future children be talking, or will kids, well, what was I being then? 9, will a 9-year-old be going, hey, we got beat 5-2 by Watford. I was under the pitch.
I wish I was under the pitch.
I wonder it'll be the equivalent team in about 20 years' time, Dagenham and Redbridge or someone like that.
Yeah, it could be anything. It could be like the Elon Musk 11 or something, couldn't it? We don't know.
Oh, there's bound to be a crypto league, isn't there?
Oh,
just
definitely.
a league full of crypto bros.
You know, it'll be something like #United, won't it?
Oh Christ! Yeah.
One of those YouTube biffs.
I'm already fuming, Les. I'm already pent up. And it's not going to happen for another 20 years. So thanks for that. Oh.
Thanks for
this. Is this how Nostradamus felt? He saw something coming and went, oh, for God's sake.
Oh, I tell you, what's doing though is Salford City. That's bound to happen, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, depressingly so. Yeah. Didn't Tranmere play them the other night?
Don't know.
Yeah, do it.
In League One now?
Yeah, I think so. So there was a tweet saying that basically the Salford fans were calling Tranmere fans Scouse bastards, and Tranmere fans were calling Salford fans Manc bastards, and it was like the idea of any geography whatsoever.
These crazy guys.
Oh, ridiculous.
Do you know what? I've never known that is apparently a thing, but I live in Manchester. I've never known anyone in Salford give a shit because, you know, Manchester's a weird shape, so you never really truly know where you are.
Well, and Manchester seems to cover like about 90% of the northwest, doesn't it? Greater Manchester. Yeah. It's all encompassing. Yeah, I feel like that every time I go to Manchester. Actually, I never really quite know where I am, so that's normal.
I've been here 15 years and I feel like that. So I wouldn't worry.
It's like Alex Iwobi at Everton. He's just not quite sure.
He's still here. Don't know what I'm doing.
Do you know what I realised yesterday? He's 25. He's a young player. Like, why do I feel like he's sort of Theo Walcott 2.0?
Yeah, didn't he score his first goal in the league against us?
Everybody did.
I'm sure they beat us 2-0, but I don't think we got a kick of the ball. It was when...
Yes, yeah, I remember that game.
Played... I don't know if Bezic had a little bit of a to do with Martinez. Everyone had fallen out with Martinez by this point and didn't have a clue what he was doing. And yeah, Alex Iwobi did this weird bow and arrow celebration down the street end, as I recall.
And on the strength of that.
Yeah, that was...
We've got to stop doing this.
Here's one to watch.
I tell you what, though, it's nice you've reminded me of that because it's good to know that at some point he's had a shot on target at Goodison.
Correct.
It is. It is. I was thinking about El Ghazi. But at least he can't score against us now.
This is the problem because we keep buying the players that score against us, but the players who score against us are terrible.
Can't score against anyone else because it's an Everton thing.
It's the Everton paradox, isn't it?
Yeah.
We buy these players so they can't score against us, but they're bad.
Yeah.
Then we've done the opposite with Josh King. Like, like couldn't hit his balls with his cock when he played for us.
Oh God, I wish that could be the title. I really do. Just before we go on the hot topics, I was listening to the Comedy Arcade podcast you did.
Oh yeah.
And that injury was quite something.
Yeah.
Could you quickly?
Would you like me to recap and
just quickly, and then we'll point everyone in the direction of the podcast because it's really.
Thank you. Well, this is not my finest hour. Basically, I was in the kitchen and the toaster went on fire, and all I could remember about fires was throw a wet tea towel over them. Don't do that with electrical fires. That's not what you do. I was thinking of chip pans. But then the tea towel caught fire, and I don't know why I did this, but my first thought was throw it out the window, and then that made it even more on fire, and the neighbour's bush then also went on fire. I am a fire risk.
It's awesome 101.
But we didn't I couldn't confront the fact that I'd done that. So we just sort of, they were tipping washing up bowls of water over it, and I just closed the curtains and didn't open them again until the tenancy was up.
See, they'd not been so terrified by the chip pan fire adverts that they knew to throw water on a fire. I can see why you did that in the kitchen. I'd probably do the same.
It was a big worry when you were a kid, though, the chip pan fire, wasn't it? From school,
yeah.
Like it was a bit like, I don't even think my mum had a chip pan when we were kids, like, but it was a big worry. That and quicksand, big
and spontaneous combustion.
Whirlpools. I was always shit scared of whirlpools.
Yeah.
What
were you scared of as a kid,
Ed? Sinking sand. Remember everyone was mad about sinking sand?
Yeah.
That was still sort of prevalent in primary school, and kids
not helped by Homer Simpson. Not helped by Homer Simpson in the tar pit.
No.
That quote is my fiance's favourite quote. If I ever need to make her laugh, I would just go, first I'll pull my legs out with my arms, I'll pull my arms out with my face. And it works every single time. Absolutely incredible.
It's amazing with public information films, though, because even like you say, I didn't have a chip pan, but you're still scared of it. And you're still like bafflingly afraid of falling into a grain silo, even though you live in the middle of the city.
Yeah. It's amazing we're scared of all these things, but we can't scare people about COVID.
Yeah.
Like I'm starting to think maybe we should combine COVID with chip pans somehow, sort of get together, like a case of COVID is like a chip pan fire, people might think, oh, that's actually legitimately scary.
But everyone's just going to be setting bushes on fire then, aren't they?
Oh, yeah.
Maybe we just need more, like, really, really, really terrifying public service films.
Yeah, like, do you remember Robbie? Sorry, we're going well off topic here, aren't we? The guy who got his legs cut off by the train.
Who?
Who was this?
Robbie. I'm going
to have to Google this, aren't I?
He goes
over... Is he Everton's next signing?
More mobile than Rondon.
This is the really sad bit at the end of the advert. His sister sees him gets his legs cut off by a train. And one of the lines is, she was in hospital too. She isn't poorly, she's just stopped talking.
And that was mental illness in the 80s.
And then you see Robbie with no feet, or his feet. We assume he's got no feet. And the last line is, Robbie still keeps his football boots. I don't know why.
That's brutal. Need to finish this.
This is because me fella's obsessed with these and keeps playing them for me.
They are brilliant, though.
Can I really Google Robbie no legs? Well, yeah, if you've done it.
I remember there was one aimed at parents years ago, and it was like, do you know what your lad's doing tonight? And this lad would be like just on his way out the front door looking dead shifty, as though he's about to shiv someone in the street or something.
Can we do an Everton one?
Should do.
Everton public radio announcement,
public health warning, yeah. Just put it on the big screen before every game.
Oh, it's got a Wikipedia page, the Robbie one. If you Google Robbie brackets film British transport films, you'll.
I like the idea of some sort of Everton PSA though. Like, Robbie has stopped smiling. We all know why.
Robbie doesn't talk anymore.
Robbie won't talk anymore. In the background, the substitution board goes up with Rondon's number. Robbie lost the will to live.
This could be about Rob Vera, who started supporting the Toffees in our Champions League season.
He's just a glory hunter, that lad, isn't he?
Oh, completely. Unbelievable. That's bit him on the arse, hasn't it?
Yeah.
Right, we'll go into hot topics.
Okay.
I want to come to you first, because you've essentially got our first hot topic of the year with your football and politicians question. So this is a curveball for everyone, but I'll throw the floor open to you.
To me?
Ask the question, yeah?
Oh, I was hoping you were going to say to you, and whatever. It's
fine. Sorry. Oh, my God.
So, yeah, this morning, Keir Starmer was on the Football Cliches podcast to make a deviation from his normal cliches. And And so it got me thinking, if you could take any politician, present or past, to a football match, who would you choose and what match would you take them to?
So I had a bit of advance warning on this, obviously, and I've kind of thrown aside. So I had a little think about it, and I would take Jacob Rees-Mogg to a derby match at Goodison.
Oh, good call.
Yeah,
Get him volleyed in the lower Gladys. He's a Tory cop-out, isn't he? He's the last 2 minutes in there.
Oh, yeah. I was trying to think of one I'd get along with and take them to. What was it?
I couldn't think of any current politicians to get along with. I'd go to a Coventry match with Zara Sultana, maybe. That'd be fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, I had a couple of thoughts for this one. The first being very much on your lines, actually, Les, is taking Priti Patel to like St. Pauli. Getting her in amongst the proper socialists, and that'd be pretty funny. But the Prime Minister of Albania, Edi Rama, has become a massive Celtic fan because of Alban Ajeti, who went there. And he got properly crazy about it as well. He's become a massive Hoops fan. So I love the idea of taking him to a game because it'd be like a kid.
Yeah.
And the idea of taking someone who is the premier of his nation and taking him to watch Celtic against Ross County and then losing his head. I think that'd be a lovely day out.
Ross
County, yeah.
Ross County away. Or taking like John Prescott just for the pre-match bevies, I think.
Yeah. I think Barack Obama would be good to any Everton match because I think he'd soothe it. He'd just be like, it's not all bad. I think he'd like the Blues. I do. Yeah. Trump's a cop-out, isn't he? So,
100%.
Yeah, Obama to Everton 0, Wigan 3. I just think it'd be all right.
I think I might take Tony Benn. I only live about a mile from Broadhurst Park, so maybe I'd take Tony Benn to an FC United. I think he'd probably quite like that.
I think he would, yeah.
Pipe on the terrace, that'll still be allowed, and a proper kind of working man's club bevy house as well, Oh,
that sounds idyllic, that, doesn't it?
Yeah.
That sounds like such a good day at the game, though.
Yeah, then and there's a very kind of picturesque sort of wander back into town. It's not very funny, but it would be nice.
It's really wholesome. I love it.
You were looking really wistful as you said that. Yeah. I like it.
I was speaking to a long-time Mailbag contributor, Matt Flosky, about this question, and he said he'd take Ian Duncan-Smith to City Liverpool FC. Obviously set up by all the lads who are involved in food bank and support. And just get Ian Duncan-Smith, maybe put him in the middle of the pitch before the game.
Put him under the pitch.
Oh, in the Labyrinth. Yeah, good idea.
The plot twist here is there's no underground labyrinth under FC Liverpool's pitch, though. Next one. So I'd like to sort of try and do things a little bit differently every year. I give everything like a 12-month shelf life. So I've got the hot topics. Do we still want to do the pick an Everton player to guess what news story it is? Or shall I just say what news story it is?
And you tell us, Les. You be the newscaster.
I'll just tell you what news story it is. So this one is about, obviously, the Tory party going off everywhere. And the question is, what's the best beer garden? One nod to summer as well. Sam, come to you first. What's your best beer garden?
I couldn't really think of one that I really liked, but I asked me fella this, and he said that there was one he went to as a kid that just had a biffed up old fire engine in the back in lieu of like a play area. So you could just climb up bounce on the fire engine, just climb up the ladders, go sort of rip up the seats and everything. And I thought that sounded brilliant, actually. Like if you were 8, if you're between 8 and 10, that sounds perfect.
That's amazing. That pub definitely had a flat roof, didn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It was probably less dangerous than his mum and dad getting pissed up and driving home, which was normal in the 80s.
It was no seat belts either.
It's sort of similar to how I watched the 2002 World Cup final when I was 7. I was on a scout camp. It was in Germany, it's where I lived at the time. But we were in this massive field and they had a fire engine and a truck. And in the back of the truck, they were showing the World Cup final on the little telly. And the fire engine was just firing off its hose. It was just all the kids were getting onto the water. So you had the choice between sitting in the back of a dingy truck watching the World Cup final on a tiny little telly and out in the sun in 35-degree heat, getting jetted down by a fire engine. And this did genuinely happen. This isn't a pipe dream.
I was going to say...
I spent a solid 2 hours in that truck watching the game. And then just got hosed down with a bunch of depressed Germans. It was fantastic.
I was going to say, somehow Mike's Goodison Labyrinth isn't the most dreamy whole show.
Yeah. Yeah, it's a strange situation that. But I was thinking about beer gardens as well. I don't want to be too technical, but what counts as a beer garden? Does it need grass?
Nah.
Okay.
Yeah.
An outdoor area. Preferably walled off, so not like when some just out front on the pavement.
Yeah, I'm sort of low on those as well, to be honest. I mean, I know you've had your feuds with them, but Rigby's has got a lovely setup in the back.
It has to be fair to them. It's what's under the bridge now.
Oh, good. It's great. It's great for a post-match. Rigby's in the back. I was going to say, the walled elements kind of thrown me off, but I had some really nice drinks once in Freiburg, which is in the southwest of Germany. It's just on the cusp of the Black Forest, and there was this it was out the front of the pub, so it was open, but lovely patioed seats, great summer evening. You could see the giant Schloss, the big castle. Like, you know, when you walk up Bold Street and you can see the bombed out church at the top of the road, it's all picturesque. It was like that, but a whopping great castle, and behind it is just the forest. And you're just sitting there thinking, can this last forever? And obviously it can't. And one day I've got to go back.
Was that in Freiburg?
Freiburg, yeah.
Yeah, that does sound good.
If Everton can get into Europe at some point, because Freiburg are actually good now, can they draw each other? Can we get an away sorted? You know, it's all part of the dream, isn't it?
We've all got dream European aways, haven't we?
Yeah.
Is there anywhere near Freiburg that might get into the Europa Conference League? Just to keep it realistic.
That's Farmers.
I love the Farmers. Yeah.
Or should we just petition the club to do a nice pre-season in Germany? That's probably the most realistic. It's failed. We can't not qualify for our own pre-season. But
if anyone could.
If anyone could. Yeah. If anyone could miss the plane.
Mike, you got a favourite beer garden?
Yeah, I was thinking of a few. One that's shut. I live in Everton now, but I was born and brought up in Crosby, and there used to be one called the Brook on Brook Road, but that's now flats. It used to be very nice. It used to be, obviously a nice little bit outside, old fellas playing bowls. It was all right. One round here, there's the pub in the park, which is it's not a very nice pub, but it's got a nice beer garden. So if it's hot and it serves beer, it's usually okay. Got the Dovey, which is essentially a car park. But my favourite one is probably back when I was in uni in Leeds, is the Oak, which was just amazing. Like the biggest beer garden I think I've ever been in. If there was a footy tournament on, they had big screens up. If you sat outside, you could hear Headingley, the cricket going on if it was there. So you could hear a cheer, run inside. If they hadn't got it on the big screen, run inside, watch what had happened, and come back outside. Happy days.
That's good. That's lovely. I've got three from the Oblong. So the Ship in Hoylike's got a fairly nice little beer garden at the back. It's got grass and everything. It's lovely. The Abbey Mill has got a nice little beer garden with on a nice hill looking out over some countryside with like parasols and benches and grass. And the best one though has got to be the White Lion in West Kirby, because that's got grass and gnomes and stuff like that. Got all sorts of ornaments in there that I'm amazed are still there and they've not been taken home, but maybe that's just not a West Wirral thing to do. They definitely do nick all the beer glasses though. Just on Crosby, Mike.
Yep.
I've started doing taekwondo with Joe, the youngest lad. Mm-hmm. We had our belt grading in Crosby. So I was looking for brekkie there in the Usual Monkey, which is a nice little place to have breakfast. But as we went back to the car, there was just this neon sign on a shop that said beef.
Now, you got to realise I haven't really lived there 15 years.
Yeah,
my mum and dad are still there, but I only like.
It just triggered this memory, and I thought, well, that's a bit blatant, isn't it? But shop,
was it a shop or was it Joe Baxter's house?
All I'm going to say, where is it in relation to Sainsbury's? Because that's like the middle.
I parked in Sainsbury's car park.
There you go.
I love how localized this has got.
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Relatable
How niche can you get?
Yeah.
When I got back, I looked at the menu, and it's the scousest menu ever. So the burgers they serve are called the nice one, the belter one, the scouse one, the heavy one, the lovely one.
Defo run by the Anfield rap, innit?
It is a bit of it.
There's work, burger.
Hello, fellow Scousers.
Ahoy, hoy.
Right, next up. I might bring the question element back because it just seems a bit pointless me just telling you what it is. But this one's dead obvious. So I'll tell you what, for the answer to this one, to give me what story it's from, tell me who your best ever loan signing is at Everton.
Manny Fernandez.
What's the question about?
El Ghazi.
Yeah, getting another signing on loan for them. Like, yeah. Doing it the old-fashioned way. Yeah. Manny Fernandez, what a shout.
Well, I'd looked up before we came on. There's 2 seasons he came, so I think it was he signed in consecutive Januaries, didn't he? 07 and 08. We, apart from the first season, or the Moyes' best season, they were his next 2 best seasons, and it's all from a really good second half of the season. He was just incredible. I can remember when it was all going on with Valencia, and he was in the stadium, and Benfica had said he'd signed for us. I can remember this, obviously days before social media, going on the Benfica website, and my brother did Spanish and Portuguese in uni, and I was like, what does that say? What does that say? And he was like, he's signed for Everton. That's basically saying he's left Benfica and he's signed for Everton. And then the next day, he's at the Mestalla.
I can't remember how we bought that one up. What happened?
I think they just give him more money, didn't they? Probably.
All right, okay.
Yeah, he started pushing for more, didn't he? He got a bit greedy.
Was it about the time we signed Baines as well?
And that was 06, I think, wasn't it?
That?
Yeah. 07,
we took our time with that, didn't we?
But
I just remember looking at Fernandez on YouTube roughly the same time as looking at Baines on YouTube, and Baines was just not, apart from missing a penalty, was just not on YouTube.
I remember.
He was so good. He was so good. Too good for us.
Yeah,
he was. I was thinking about Baines. Talk about pre-Twitter age. I learned about us signing Baines on the BBC World Service.
Nice.
They were the best days of being abroad, and the yesterday's paper for £7 and finding out that finding out a day late that we'd signed David Burrows.
And Tony Crossy's going to run. That's how I found out Nick Barmby was going to Liverpool. I was in Florida, and I just picked up a newspaper in a shop and it said Liverpool are interested in Nick Barmby. Me and my dad spent the whole rest of the holiday going, well, there's no way he's going to go there because he loves Everton, doesn't he? Of course he loves Everton. He's not going to go to Liverpool.
Where were you, Red, to hear it on the World Service?
I was in Italy.
Oh, right.
So, just saw it. Leighton, yeah, all right, whatever. That's a lot of money, isn't it? And then, he became a bit of a legend. Yeah, I love the idea of Les not like disbelieving the Barbie story, but going on an absolute rampage, like kicking the crap out of Mickey Mouse or something. Was it really? Didn't really last a date. You just went, oh, surely not.
Oh, you hadn't actually signed at this point, so it was just basically looking to sign him, and it was like he's interested in going. So that was the source, like that we got the ball rolling. Me and my dad were convincing each other that he's not going to sign for Liverpool. There's no way he'd do that to us.
My dad's got a good story from when he went to Florida, and we are going on a bit of a tangent, so I apologise. But when he was younger, him and his best mate went to Florida, and they're in the hotel room one night, and they were watching Space Launch from Cape Canaveral on the telly, and so they're watching it, and my dad's mate says, "Turn the volume down a bit, will you? It's a bit loud." Turns the volume down, doesn't do anything. What? Turn the volume down. They turn the volume down, put it on mute. They can still hear it. They turn around, look out the hotel window, and the bloody rocket's going on outside.
Brilliant.
I hadn't realised they're sitting there on the telly going, this is good, isn't
it? When was this? Was this morning? The hell. What a nightmare. Ed, what's your best ever loan signing?
I agonised over this because, the facetious response would be Mangala, because it made me think I could play for Everton. I think the boring answer would be your Artetas and Pinars, but thinking about it, it's one of two people. One is Dennis Stracqualursi, who I still love, and despite the fact he was awful, just objectively bad, he just the love he felt, it was glorious. But I think the man who managed to condense the entire Everton experience in just 2 months would be Landon Donovan. Turned up as a bit of a star. He was big back home. Everyone was a bit excited. He was really excited, and he was great when he first came. And all of a sudden he's gone, and we're all missing him, wanting him back. And then he came back and he was poor, and we went, get rid. So I think it's quite impressive that he took 2.5 years of being an Everton player and condensed it to 2 months.
Yeah, he basically did it in his spare time.
Yeah.
He came here on holiday. How mental is the man?
Yeah, that is how bad we are, that people can play for us in their spare time.
That's it, isn't it? That's amazing. Sam, who's yours?
I'm struggling to look beyond just the pure chaotic energy of Royston Drenthe here.
Oh,
just
yes. What a fella.
just for I mean he came for a blowout, but he goes everywhere for a blowout, and just the whole just sozzing off and doing what he wanted, just bringing lasses back to the training ground. Yeah. God, it was still will have been Belfield, won't it? But yeah, obviously Moyes got shut really quickly and doesn't tolerate that kind of thing. But it was briefly hilarious. And then looking back when he was having his kind of rap career, going, yeah, we had him for a bit.
Yeah, he was the most un-Moyes-like signing ever, wasn't he? It was never work under Moyes for him.
No.
Yeah, he's just a ridiculous player. He made me throw off once, Royston Drenthe. Do you remember
the Belfield, were you?
wasn't throwing money at him.
We beat Blackpool in the cup, and it was the day before my birthday. So we come up because they didn't live up here. We come up for my birthday, and I was really ill. But Everton tickets, we only came to one game a year, so you're not missing it. So I've come up like pale as a sheet, sort of semi-dying, and I'm sitting there in the lower Gladys, sort of shivering. And he scored after 40 seconds, so I just sat down and then jumped up with everyone else, and just in the maelstrom, I was gone. I threw up in my hat. I was just sort of sat there comatose for the rest of the game.
Oh my! So you weren't even hungover; you were just poorly.
I was a child.
Oh, great! It's upsetting.
I was God, what would it have been? 14. My 14th birthday.
Was that the year we got to the semis?
09, yeah.
Yeah.
At least you had the decency to throw.
No, 11. Sorry, I was 16. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah.
Just timing.
Yeah, I did it in a hat. It ruined the hat, but
yeah, that is really thoughtful, though. That's like I've been sick in the lower Bullens when I was about 10, and I don't think I was that considerate.
It ruined a bobble hat, and I don't want to disrespect bobble hats by doing that. It was a bad thing to do. So yeah.
Best loan sign at Warsaw, John Wharton replied with Glenn Keely.
Is he the 5-0 fella that you got?
Yeah, so for anyone who doesn't know, Glenn Keely signed on loan for Everton from Blackburn. I think he's one of Blackburn's best ever defenders. I mean, they were shite in the 80s, but even so. But yeah, he signed on loan for Everton. He played one game and he got sent off.
Amazing.
After half an hour, and the Reds won 5-0. I think Ian Bush may have scored 4 in that game as well.
It's not well documented, that game, anyway.
Yeah. I mean,
no one's gone for Brett Angel then.
Yeah, no.
Yeah, he was on loan, wasn't he?
Yeah.
And then we signed him.
Oh.
We did sign him, didn't we?
Or did we?
Yeah, 100% signed him.
Yeah, he came on loan and we signed, because that was at the point where we needed a tall striker.
Tall. He was tall and we were titchy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think we had Tony Cottee, Mo Johnson and Peter Beardsley, and they were all like strikers for about 4 years. We had no target man.
Yeah.
Thought Brett Angel was the answer, when it was obviously Kevin Francis from Stockport instead, because he was about 7 foot tall.
On the flip side from Keeley, I can't think of many Everton players with a better goals to games ratio than Lucina Traore.
Nailed it, hasn't he? Back heel as well, wasn't it?
Yeah, 3 minutes into his debut, wasn't it? What an
Swansea
impact.
in the cup.
And then got injured and then just never played again. Yeah. What a way to preserve your Everton legacy. Don't let the rot set in.
100% goal record.
Yeah.
Just last one on this. In the tweet, I put a GIF of Terry Curran. It was maybe one of Everton's most infamous loan signings, because I can't remember where we got him from anyway, but he came on loan. I think he played 6 games, scored 1 goal, which would have been against Luton, which was in the GIF. And everyone was banging into him. Apparently, he was really good. A good player. Signed him, and it just didn't work out. He just never recaptured that on loan form. Can you imagine that? So I think he played another didn't score. And that was, but he did get a championship medal in 1985. It's a nice story in the end, really. And it just sticks out to me because I remember when I was a kid, I had a picture of the 84-85 team framed in my room, because it was in the good old days when you could actually like an Everton team. And there was him and Mark Higgins, who I didn't really recognise because they never played. I think Mark Higgins retired shortly into the 84-85 season through injury. And Terry Curran was the other one, and he looked like the archetypal Scouser with the curly perm and the moustache. Yeah, that's Terry Curran. There you go. Move on to ask us anything. Jonathan at It's Only JK has asked, are you bringing back 11s, lads? I'll just throw it out. Are we bringing back 11s? One word answer. Sam?
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely.
Sure.
Apparently, yeah. So someone from the Blue Room admin replied, said, yeah, they are bringing back 11s, so look out for that. Another Jonathan, can we just knock this Everton thing on the head now? We've given it a good go, and I just don't think it's going to work out.
What would we do?
We could get another hobby, or you could get into weights or learn to code, or we could do anything.
Learn to code.
We could completely change professions if we had that Everton time. Get something really lucrative.
The thing is, I'm 100% convinced we wouldn't be able to handle it if we were even like a tiny bit successful. If we were Leicester, we wouldn't be able to even take the league out of it. Just if we were Leicester, we wouldn't be able to handle it as a race of people of this Evertonian.
We just couldn't cope with a basic level of competence.
Yeah, we couldn't.
No, I think you're right.
When we were about sort of 5th or 6th under Moyes, though, there was the miserable lads were still miserable. They were still.
Yeah.
And the lads who can find humour in it could still find humour in it. So it doesn't really matter where we are. It doesn't matter how we're doing, does it?
It doesn't at all, no. I still find Everton funny. We're still hilarious, yeah.
Do you think there are sad City fans?
Yeah.
Oh, definitely. Not like it used to be. Not as good as it was. Don't care how much we win. Not as good as it was. Yeah. City fans like that.
They just don't put in the effort, do they? Soft lads up as they are, There'll be loads of that.
Where were you when we were away at Grimsby and all this bollocks? Yeah.
Hey, look at him. He's not even as hard as Franny Liam. It's him.
Oh, God.
Yeah.
I hope there are.
There will be, because I reckon there'll still be people who are that contrary. They just force themselves not to enjoy the club. But there'll be people like that at Everton. 100%.
David Conn's a bit like that, I think. I read his book on the City success, and his last chapter is a bit like, oh, well, it's not what it was, The thing is,
it must be easy to get wistful about the bad old days when you're really good.
Yeah, oh yeah.
Yeah.
Mustn't it?
extremely easy to reminisce. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I imagine you would probably were harking back to that 1971 League Cup win or whatever it was when you were away at Grimsby and stuff like that. You would probably were harking back to those good old days and not times when you were shit. God, it must be weird though, mustn't it? Just having success foisted on you like that.
I'd love to try it.
Yeah, I could go.
Yeah.
We'll see how it goes.
Yeah, we'll give it a go.
Yeah, I don't know. I feel like we would be able to deal with maybe a moderate amount of success. Like, I don't know, 6th. Or, we win a corner or something, Yeah. I don't know.
Just one normal day of Everton. That's all.
Yeah, that's it, isn't it?
Just a point at Norwich will do.
I was thinking the other day, when's the last time we won 3-0 at home and just cruised the whole way through?
Probably the start of last season. No, because we were conceding goals then.
We were conceding. I feel like it was under Silva, like thrashing Man U or whatever it was back at the.
But that was it when you used to come out the match under Moyes or something. It'd just be like 2-0 against Southampton.
You just
like routine that. And now it's like, I don't know. We're going into a sad spiral. I think we all might cry now at the end of this.
What is the stat from this season? Have we gone behind in like 18 games or something? Which is just outrageous.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean, just on this question though, right? If you did give up Everton, would every weekend feel like the weekend when you're out the FA Cup? I think it would. It'd be horrible. So when the draw for the later rounds of the FA Cup come on, and you're like, you can't even, because you're like, I don't even want to know because I hate this competition and I hate.
Yeah.
Every weekend it'd be like that.
The 5th round weekend always falls on or close to my birthday, and every single year we fall just short of it, and I go, oh, never mind then. Or we get drawn away, and I go, oh, never mind then.
Or it doesn't fall on your birthday and you end up sick in the stands.
Yeah, sometimes it all goes right. You're right, though. There would be a void. I think for those of us who still can get some joy out of it, and I still absolutely love going Goodison. I love the whole thing, even if we're terrible. I really appreciate the buzz of the game. I think the only people who need to give Everton up are the ones who just aren't enjoying it at all. And you just think, maybe you could actually have a nice life. You could do something. There's a whole big world out there. Save up the money and go on holiday, or
take up coding.
Yeah, take up coding.
Yeah, it's a funny thing. Do you know the thing I find really confusing, and I think I've said this before a few weeks ago, is having season tickets sometimes ruins going the game
because it's an obligation.
Yeah. So when you're doing well, it's brilliant because you can't wait to go to every game anyway. But when you're not and you've got a season ticket, you're like, you've got to go to the game. And it does kind of take something away from when you just go to certain games during the season and you make a big deal of it.
Yeah, I mean, I'd still prefer it, I think, because at the moment I'm going to pretty much every home game, but having to scrape for tickets or ask for spares and stuff like that. I think having a season ticket's a special thing, and I don't want people to sort of get complacent with it.
Well, that's it as well. It's like when you have got a season ticket, you probably do just take it for granted as well.
Yeah.
So easy to do.
Yeah, because I actually have a season ticket. It's not mine. I've had it since September.
I know.
And every now and again, I open my wallet and look at it and go, oh yeah, you little beauty. Oh yeah. So I like the feeling. I feel pretty special. But maybe he'll want it back at some point.
We all need like a mate who works away. So you pretty much get half and half, but you don't know what you're getting. Yeah. Like I've had that before, and just when he's offshore, I've got it, and sometimes it's taught. Sometimes you're like, oh God, I can't believe I've got it this weekend. But occasionally there's one that you're really into and you're really privileged to see.
Yeah,
maybe one between two is just the right ratio.
Yeah, it's like a custody battle for a really shit child, isn't it?
And the reason I was getting that was because the other fella that he was giving it to kept starting fights. So he's like, please be the one who takes it, because I just can't alienate everyone around me.
See, those are the fans who intrigue me. The ones that, not the firms, the bunch of knobheads who go out in groups looking for fights. The ones who manage to find fights wherever they go. So my dad and I used to follow Tranmere away in the south of the country because we lived in the south. And there was one fella, this big fat lad, this Tranmere fan, and his wife. And every single away we went to, we'd watched them get carried out before halftime because he'd started to scrap. And we'd be going to MK Dons, we go into Swindon, Yeovil, Bristol Rovers, wherever. And we're sitting there and we're just watching him waiting with a little timer going, right, when's he getting kicked out? And by the end of it, we were doing sweepstakes.
I mean, to be honest, every one of those away sounds quite fightable.
Yeah, sounds great.
I reckon apart from Bristol Rovers, I reckon you'd fancy your chances against Yeovil fans and Swindon fans and that. I reckon Bristol Rovers would be a bit nasty, to be honest.
He was fighting other Tranmere fans. That was the worst part.
Oh, fair enough.
Like, I've never seen anything like it. Never seen anything like it. And honestly, he must have spent so much money going around the country following Tranmere and getting booted from every Football League stadium that they went to.
Maybe that was his ambition.
Away fans.
that was his thing.
Yeah, that was his thing. Joe, open a new stadium. Whoa, watch this, lads.
Yeah, because people do the original sort of 92, don't they?
Yeah.
So that adds another level of jeopardy to it. It really does.
Maybe he's got a little map at home and he just puts a little X through each one as he goes around.
As you say, you're doing sweeps, so it was how quickly can I get kicked out of the ground?
Yeah.
I think we've answered the question there, Les. In we all really hate Everton, but we literally cannot live without it.
That's basically the top bottom, isn't it?
It is just not even what would you do? Even if you didn't go to the game, you find some way of watching it. You're looking at your phone, you're doing something, and it's just, and you give anything not to, but you don't know what you'd do.
Yeah, absolutely.
That's it.
My wedding falls on the same day that we're going to play Crystal Palace if it doesn't move. So in March. Sorry, in April. That was bad. I was going to say, sure, it's in April. It's in April. And my fiance keeps saying to me, "Oh, you can't look at the score. You can't look at the score. It's our wedding day." And I'm like, look, it's just an Everton match. I don't care. It's our wedding day. It's all about us. And there's a little part of the back of my mind going, well,
if it were me smartwatch and get notifications.
There you go.
The ceremony's at 2. The game probably started at 3. I'm just doing the maths. In my head. You'd be well done and dusted by 3. There's a little addict in the back of my head, I think, who's going, oh, you could just check. You could ask your best man to keep you updated. Just something like that. But I think we could all do a bit of time off.
Put everything on the best man.
An addiction that ruins your life. It is basically the only thing that you sort of equally hate and organize your whole life around is like heroin. Like
yeah. It basically is, isn't it? It's so unhealthy.
Oh, they've done studies, haven't they, that we do, it makes us more miserable than it makes us happy. Everyone, not even just Evertonians,
even
although
cockbites.
Particularly Evertonians.
Yeah. I reckon even cockbites, right? They've got one of the best teams in Europe, and they're winning loads of stuff, and they still don't seem happy.
They don't win enough, Les. They don't
exactly.
win enough, and
you've got to be lashing out at other people.
Know it.
Yeah. You've got to be punching down at someone to be truly happy, and that must be a really horrible existence. And taking your football club that seriously that you can't take the piss out of them, or anyone else taking the piss out of them.
Yeah. At least punch up.
Exactly. Exactly.
Yeah, you've got to be able to come away and have fun with it. And I'll be honest here, the post-match after Watford, I had a great time. We were laughing our heads off.
That was a superb post-match, though.
It was just, we were just all laughing our heads off because there's a point at which your brain can only take so much anger.
Well, I think it's 5. It's 4 to 5. That was the tip, I think.
Yeah.
If it's 4-2, you're furious. 5-2.
That's it, isn't it?
Yeah.
4-2 was like, fuck off. I was like, oh, fuck off.
Yeah.
Oh God, this is written with Norwich now though. The 5.
Oh God.
Oh, don't.
Norwich, who haven't scored in 6 games?
Yeah, 6 straight goalless defeats.
4 for Timu Pukki.
You've just been saving them up, haven't they?
And then poor 3,000 people who are going, and there's no motorway to Norwich, and that's going to be horrible.
It's a slog, that, isn't it?
I disagree fundamentally with them being in the league because of that. It's just fundamentally Norwich is too far away.
I have a problem with them. I have a problem with them having an away kit. No one wears yellow. Pointless.
It's always red as well, isn't it?
I always thought that when you had your Premier League stickers when you were a kid. Like that was then they used to have the kits, and you only had 2 kits then. Yeah. But it was just like, who are they wearing that against? Who are they wearing it? Why have they got one? It really bothered me, and it still does, as you can tell.
my one with Everton was always, why have we got a white away kit? What are we going to wear against Chef Wed? Come on. That was a real bugbear of mine, but I think we did actually wear the tractor print against Chef Wed.
Right,
okay.
Some of the yellows were horrible though. So
now we've got like the playing on the Tuesday kit and playing on a Wednesday kit. So all right.
Yeah, too many kits.
Oh, we're gonna get beat tomorrow, aren't we?
That's just brought us right down, hasn't it? I'll move on to the last question then, and this is Stephen Sheehan, who actually asked this question on December 3rd, but he'd asked it after we'd recorded. So I said, I'll ask this next week, and then forgot, and then kept forgetting, and then remembered. This is a question from December the 3rd, but amazingly, it still stands up today.
Time to be alive, December the 3rd.
Who'd have thought it'd get even worse? Yeah. Given the current plight of the club and how we all wanted to fold, if you came up with a new club, what would you call it? And more importantly, what nickname would you give it? Who wants to go first on this one?
I'll go first on this one because I've done this on Football Manager. You can build a club where you take the existing bones of a club and wipe them all out and put whatever players you want in and stuff. So I annihilated Stoke City. Yeah, I tore up Stoke City, but I'd happily do it to Everton. I live in the Dingle, so this team's called Dynamo Dingle.
Nice.
I just think it sounds really cool. And I haven't settled on a proper nickname yet, but every year I do a pre-season cup and call it Dingle Mania. So I think I'll just stick with that because I think it sounds pretty nice, and everyone could come around South Liverpool and support another team, an alternative to Everton down here.
So, even though sorry, Mike, go on.
I was going to say, does Everton have you replaced Everton in that?
No, we replaced Stoke.
No, like in this question.
In this.
Oh, sorry.
Yeah.
Right,
Wipe Everton off the map. Have Dynamo Dingle.
Dingle. See, my only issue with this is even though you live there, I'm still not convinced the Dingle is a real place. So that's the hill I'm going to die on.
The thing is, I can't tell you where is the Dingle. Like I don't get it. If I walk up the road, I'm in Toxteth, but I don't know where the Dingle actually is. So
hang on, is it that close to town?
Yeah, yeah, very very close to town. Yeah.
Oh, wow. I mean, everything I've known is a lie. Nickname the Dingleys?
Yeah, the Dingleys, I take it, yeah. I think you're opening yourself up for a piss take, but
yeah,
it's not too bad, I suppose, yeah.
Oh, the Dells.
The Dingley Dells. Play at the Dell. There you go. I'm in.
I'm already halfway to tearing up Everton now. Sounds fantastic.
What colour would your kit be?
Oh, see, I would still stick with blue. I'm thinking maybe navy blue, but you could play around with designs. I like the idea of having the sash design or the Boca Juniors.
Yeah.
The across the chest sort of situation. So yeah, I would probably steal the blue still, but just maybe jazz it up a bit.
Or if you're starting a new club, just have a different colour every season.
Yeah, why not? Yeah, absolutely. Maybe.
I mean, that's basically what you did the Football League at the start, wasn't it? If you look at the old kits.
Yeah, I think we could go back to that and bring back the proper salmon sort of colours, or maybe half blue, half neon pink, and you wouldn't
like a
need
FIFA kit.
Yeah, like you wouldn't need an away kit. You'd switch it round.
Turn it inside out. Yeah.
Oh yeah, like
the other way around. You're either blue and pink or pink and blue. And
big
you'd be a
baggy
classy
shorts with a steak belt as well. Mike.
Well, I had a little think about this, and thinking of like good names like Ed has, but I think we'd need to always remember like what it was. So in a Simpsons Snowball 2, we would just be Everton 2, because we would have to remember where we've come from and what the pain and anguish and agony that brings.
That would be great, because in every defeat we have, it would still say Everton 2-0.
Yeah. Well, I'm thinking it would be Roman numerals. So I think just not that I thought about that much. And we would play in all blue.
Oh, I love it.
Because that, I know people will moan, but that should be our kit.
But I love the idea of going Everton 2-0, Liverpool 5.
Atlanta Falcons.
With it being a sequel, it's like Everton 2 Misery Squared.
This time it's terminal.
Schwarzenegger in the back like
that. Sam, what team you creating?
Well, like I say, I live in North Manchester and just not far up from FC United. So I was going for a Harper Hay United, but we'll be the opposite of FC. Like, we'll just be absolute scumbags. Like, they're like guardians of sport and all that is right and holy, and we'll just be savages.
Like
and,
that.
Yeah, and we'll be called the Spice Zombies.
Yes.
Would that be the playing style as well, do you reckon?
Yeah, absolutely. Like, it would just be tearing shit up. There would be no time for development. It would just be rough and ready.
Player manager Andy van der Meijden.
Yeah, exactly. That'd be brilliant.
Winston Drenther as the first team.
Oh, Peter Begbie on his scooter. Have you heard that story?
It's a wonderful story. Go on, tell us it. It
It's
is a great story.
Where we played away, was it in Spain? Was
in
it
Spain in the pre-season?
And it nicked a scooter off someone, and there were glass doors, automatic glass doors in the hotel. This was like the morning before we were flying back, and he drove through these automatic doors on a scooter, and they'd switched them off. So he just went on a stolen scooter straight through 2 planes of glass.
Full-on plate glass, wasn't it?
Yeah. And I didn't know he was a rackhead at the time, and I've only since heard the story. But yeah,
he seems like a sensible guy. I'm just waiting for, and then he did the cartwheel. Yeah. But I thought he always comes across as I don't know him, but like a sensible guy. He came back on loan. He was terrible.
Oh God, he did.
Oh God.
Yes.
The end of Kendall the Third.
It was, wasn't it? Yeah.
Yeah.
Because Kendall always did that, didn't he? He'd always sign his old players. I remember Alan Harper needs. Did Ian Snow never leave?
No, Harper came back.
He's still there now as well, isn't he? Yeah. Harper came back, didn't he?
Yeah, Harper came back.
Yeah.
Like Moyes at Sunderland, just getting the
getting
band back together.
Yeah. Oh. Not would have made me happy if you'd have said, and he did the cartwheel. If you ever say that again, that's how it has to be.
Yeah. I will add that in, and it will become folklore, hopefully.
We'll see. It looks like it's always those sorts of like straight-laced plays you need to watch, because there's Gareth Barry.
Oh, that was amazing.
Oh, yeah.
I love that.
Brilliant.
Yeah.
Stealing a it was at West Brom, wasn't it, at the time? Unfortunately, it wasn't with us.
Who in the current Everton squad would you want to see on the headlines having gone on some crazy bender?
God,
Michael Keane.
Oh no, do you know what? No, he'd go the Harry Maguire route and absolutely shit his kecks the first sign of police, wouldn't he?
Oh yeah. Oh, I'm a United captain. Oh.
Yeah, I'll retract that answer.
Yeah.
I'd love Coleman to completely out of character, just go on a mad one. Just sort of, I'm mad as hell, I'm not going to take it anymore. And
I think he deserves it.
Exactly.
He's had 10, 12 years of it. He deserves a blowout. You know, he just needs to,
On the total flip side, what about Asmir Begovic, middle of town, doing a Lady Godiva on his wife's horse?
Down Bold Street.
Yeah.
Advertising his new goalie gloves, like his
wearing only the goalie gloves. Yeah.
Asmir Begovic in the knack down Church Street on a horse takes a cone off John Moore's statue's head.
And then we fold.
That will be a blaze of glory to go. Right, that is it for this week's mailbag. That was an absolute belter. Let's have some score predictions for Norwich. Apologies to anyone who's listening to this or watching this on YouTube and the game has passed. But that's how it works. So let's have some score predictions for Norwich. Christ, this will be grim. Sam, you're on the bottom right. I'll start with you first.
Oh, go on, we'll nick it 1-0.
0.
Yeah.
Like
off Rondon's arse or something.
I'll do for me. Mike?
Norwich 2-0. They'll go 2 up inside 25 and we will not fight back.
So it's one of them whereby you go ahead early and you're thinking there's plenty of time.
Yeah.
It's 85 minutes and nothing's changed.
Yeah, 85 minutes and we'll bring on, I don't know, El Ghazi.
Oh, God. Ed, drag us out of this misery.
Oh, yeah, I'll go Everton 2, Norwich 4. No, I think we'll win. I understand from the team news that we've got Calvert-Lewin back, Richarlison back, Mina may be back, so we'll get a good 25 minutes out of him.
I've just got an Everton notification. Hang on.
Oh God, they're all
no. It's how to get to Norwich.
Oh, okay. I'm going to say 2-0. I'm going to say 2-0. To the Blues.
They are really bad, aren't they? They are really bad. They are really
bad.
Bad.
We are terrible and we do lose in the worst situations, but generally speaking, when we're playing teams like this bad, like we didn't lose to Derby when they went down. You know, give us a bit of credit, we'll win, and they won't score because they are absolute dog butties. They're the worst.
Yeah, I'm going to go a horrible 2-1 win. They will go ahead. Looking pretty horrible, but I reckon we'll pull it round.
Law of averages, they are, aren't they? They are. Law of averages says they are going ahead.
Well, yeah, and they've got to score at some point.
Yeah.
Why not tomorrow?
But they may score, and by the time we found out who the scorer is on Wikipedia, we'll be back in it or something like that.
I'll be stuck under the ground anyway. I'll be stuck under the ground anyway. Me and my dad together.
A fever dream again.
Yeah. I'm going to have to text him after this just to make sure it was true.
Yeah, I know. You need to give us more details next time when you get that. Cheers for that, Sam.
Cheers,
Ed. Thanks to everyone who sent questions.
Thank you.
That's the first mailbag of the year. We'll be back next week.